It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Elon Assistant Athletic Director for Marketing, Mary DeFriest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thanks for having me on your show.
That's wonderful. Can you talk about how you got started in working in college athletics?
Yeah. I'm going to go way back to when I was in high school. And my entire life, I was a dancer. So I loved putting on a show and being in the spotlight and just kind of being the center of attention and making people feel happy. And when I got to college, I originally went for dance and I got injured, and I quickly learned that dance wasn't for forever. So I had to kind of rethink my path. And I later found out that my second love, sports, there's a whole entertainment aspect behind sports. And so while I went to Indiana for my undergrad, and so while I was at Indiana, I was able to work in the marketing department within the athletics department, and it was a lot of fun. And they showed me all the things that how we can entertain fans and put on a show just like dance. And so that's kind of what led me to working in sports. And then specifically now I've landed in college athletics again. So it's great to be back.
Can you talk about, of course, what is some of the stuff that you can put on so you can entertain the fans as a marketing director?
Of course. So some of the things we do, we're in charge of the video board. So sometimes, you play, there's fun trivia that you can do. There's interactive videos where we can show off the personality of players, everything down to the intro video. So we try to include some hype in the game day. We also control the music so that it helps with the hype and trying to get people amped up for different parts of the game. And then we also do like on-court activities, obviously not because of COVID, but we typically would do things like the half-court shot. We have like a trike race that's really popular with our students. And then we also do, we're in charge of like the fun giveaways. So we try to get people to come to the game. So, if you got like a free t-shirt or a koozie or a sticker or whatever it is, we try to make that atmosphere so fun so that you would want to come back.
Can you talk about first what goes on behind the scenes whenever you're preparating for game day?
Yeah, so there's a lot of preparation that goes into game day. It's funny, when I used to work in minor league baseball, the seasons were very different, but in the off season they would say, what do you do in the off season? Do you do anything? And it's like, well, this is the planning time, and then when it's time for the season to come around, that's the executing time. So it takes a lot of time to sit down and plan and make sure things get executed properly. But behind the scenes, we write the scripts for the games so that everybody knows what's happening when, and we can all, we're all on the same page because we're following the same script. And then, we download music for different theme nights. So like if we do a Star Wars day, we'll probably, throw in some Star Wars tunes, or we did a Princess Day last year, so we sang Frozen and things like that. So there's a lot of little things that go into game day, but the little things make a big difference at the end of the day.
Can you talk about coming up with some of the promotions, like you said, the Star Wars night?
Yeah. So we try to come up with things that not only will engage our students, but also the community, because we want to get, if we can impact somebody just one time, that's not typically a fan, then it would be great to get them to come back to something else as well. So we try to come up with fun theme nights. We'll do some student-based ones, like donut miss this match for volleyball, and we'll hand out free donuts. Or like we'll do like student items of the game where we give out like high end prizes to students, things like that. So those types of promotions are really fun for our students. But then the community center ones, we try to go a little bit bigger and try to get as many people to come to a game that wouldn't typically come to a game.
Can you talk about the fan engagement part of your job and what that is?
Sure. So the fan engagement part is, it kind of everything that I've said kind of falls into fan engagement. So the promotions and just making sure that people have a good time is the part of engaging fans. And then we also, kind of going back to the marketing stuff, we'll send out emails, and social media is huge to communicate our language to fans and like what's going on. And, also just word of mouth and flyers and things like that too.
Can you talk about your time at the Greensboro Grasshoppers as the community promoter?
Yeah, of course. So minor league baseball is known for its weird and wacky promotions, and I was lucky enough to be the brain behind some of those weird and wacky promotions. And minor league baseball is a true grind. We all work really hard and long hours. Even in collegiate athletics, sometimes we do work 90-hour weeks. And minor league baseball is like that, but just a little more condensed. So it's a lot more 90-hour weeks in a row than a little bit more spread out. But it was a lot of fun. You kind of have no rules. If you wanted to make a pasta night, you could. You could get as creative as you wanted to. One of my favorite promotions that we did at the Grasshoppers, and we actually were up for a golden bobblehead for it, was we did a royal wedding night. So it was around when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were getting married, and we did a bobblehead of them, and we actually got like a London taxi to come, and we had a cake, and we like featured all these wedding vendors and things. So we really blew it up and had a lot of fun with it, and tried to every single inch of the game we tried to tailor towards the theme. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, not only did I do the promotions and things, I also was in charge of the community engagement side. So like the kids club, we did a lot of reading program things with our local news station, where we would go into schools and like bring the mascot and engage with kids that way. And then I also did sell some sponsorship and tickets as well. And then I also did special events too. So non-traditional ballpark events. So that's a lot of things under one title. But that's just what minor league baseball is all about. So
Can you talk about the difference between, of course, marketing in the minor leagues versus in college athletics?
sure. So I would say one of the biggest differences is that when you work in collegiate athletics, you already have some type of established fan base, right? Like you have students that come to your school because they want to be here and they love your school. So like we have an Elon fan base, and then you have people who are alumni who love the school as well. So you kind of have a gradual build on a fan base. So that at some point, people are going to be like, oh, I love Elon, I'm going to come to one game at least within 5 years or something like that. The difference with minor league baseball is there isn't really a true like definitive fan base. We just want anybody and anyone who wants to have a good time and wants to be social and come enjoy a night at the ballpark, whether it's with your friends or family. So the market for that is much, much wider. And we just try to get as many different walks of life and people into the ballpark as we can. But at the collegiate level, it's a little bit easier to entice someone to come to a game because, they already have some type of affinity towards Elon athletics, if that makes sense.
Can you talk about what you've learned as being an assistant director for marketing?
I've learned a lot of things. But I would say maybe one of the biggest things in marketing is, and this might be going back to, I know one of your questions might be, what advice do you have? but it's just learning how to roll with the punches and control what you can control. I've had so many people tell me that I'm a big planner, so I like things to go a certain way. But if you know anything about the game day, it doesn't always go as planned. We've accidentally played, the hype video instead of the intro video, or we had a contestant that went the wrong way and now they're running around on the court. So you just like never know what's going to happen. But you just got to be able to act fast and think quickly, and just be able to kind of play it off. And we're our hardest critics at the end of the day. We know what we did wrong, right? But the general fan has no clue. So that's what I always have to remind myself. And I've obviously learned that over the years, that you just got to control what you can control and then let things just go if it's out of your control.
What have you accomplished as being assistant athletic director for marketing?
This is my second year at Elon, so I haven't had too much of a chance to put a big stamp here. But I would say I did have a really good homestand. I had a really good 2 back-to-back women's basketball games where we tried 2 new things that Elon had never seen, and I was taking it from my minor league baseball background, and they ended up being 2 really fantastic events. And I think it kind of prove to people here at Elon that, I can do these things and I can put on an event successfully. So one of them was, we did a sip and paint night. So we offered a package. People could buy it and they would get a glass of wine, and then during the game, they could paint a picture, and it was actually the Elon logo. So it was really cool. We made it like Elon themed. And so we had a good turnout for that. And then the second one, which I mentioned before, was our princess night. And they had never done one here at Elon. And so I had a good connection from my time at the Grasshoppers of a bunch of princesses that would come out and, pretend like they were Cinderella or Snow White. And we encouraged the community to come and have their children come dress up, and they would get in for free if kids came dressed up as princesses. And it was such a fun time. And it was even so fun that our head women's basketball coach, Charlotte Smith, dressed up as a princess at the end of the game and came out and took photos with all the kids and signed autographs and stuff. So it was a really cool, feel-good day for sure.
That's wonderful that you came up with those ideas from whenever you were with the Grasshoppers and brought them back. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with, of course, the marketing program app?
For sure. So for Elon specifically, we don't have a specific marketing handle, but you can see everything from Elon at Elon Phoenix across everything: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then everybody can find me. My handle is mdizzlers. It's a play on my first and last name, and then my favorite candy, Twizzlers. And that is on Twitter and Instagram as well. So
thank you again, Mary, for your interview, and best of luck at Elon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for thinking of me, Brandon.
You're welcome. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Mary, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.